Smackdown wasn't all that good outside of the Bloodline storyline on this show. A lot of this show was kind of missable. But for the first Smackdown of 2023, it wasn't all that good. It wasn't all that much to talk about. Triple H didn't leave us with a whole bunch of meat on the bone this week. We just got a little small taste of the meat. Not much. Just a little nibble here, a little nibble there. But overall, outside the Bloodline stuff, SmackDown just wasn't good. So, let's discuss and talk about SmackDown for January the 6th, 2023. So, we kick the show off with the Bloodline. So, they destroyed chairs and everything else. Then we heard the music of the Tribal Chief. He comes out. And they immediately show us what happened last week with John Cena and John Cena and Kevin Owens defeating Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn last week. So, Roman gets on the mic and tells Heyman that we're going to start things off a bit differently tonight. Reigns says he wants to hear from the honorary Uce, Sami Zayn. So, Zayn, he's all smiles. Zayn says Zayn says we saw how the Bloodline kicked off the show, how they kicked off Raw, and how they're going to kick off 2023. To put everyone on notice that this year belongs to the Bloodline, Sami says that they're starting things off right in 2023. They sent a message at Raw, and he continues on about their wins at Raw and says that they're sending a message this year. Reigns says he really doesn't care to talk about it. To talk about this year. He wants to talk about what happened last year. Reigns brings up last week's loss to Cena and Owens. He laughs and he says about the fact that they lost. It's not in his DNA. He had to think about long and hard. He said Reigns didn't lose. Sami did. Sami's shoulders were on the mat, not his. Reigns says he didn't lose, so he really didn't care about it. And he said they're going to move forward, but he can't figure out why Sami called a shot. Why he guaranteed to win. Reigns says he called the shots. He always delivered without a problem. But it's embarrassing when you call a shot and then fail to deliver. Reigns asks Sami, he starts barking at him and screaming at him and says, does he want to be the tribal chief? Why does he do things like Reigns? Does Sami want to be like him? Does he think he can do things better? Reigns also says, you have to think about things, keep your eyes in the back of your head. So, Reigns asks Zayn over and over again if he wants to be him, if he wants to take over the Bloodline. So Sami doesn't get a chance to even respond to any of this. And then we see Kevin Owens. Oh my God, what the fuck? So Owens comes out. He's on the ramp. Tells Roman to take a deep breath and relax. Or two, because he has some misdirected anger going on. Owens can't think of the last time he's seen Reigns like this. Owens says he knows the cause of it. He says that he's the cause of it. Owens says that Reigns' problem isn't with Sami, it's with him. He's got a KO problem and starting to drive Reigns crazy. Owens says It's time for Reigns to take care of that problem and do it at the Royal Rumble. Put the title on the line. Roman, he basically says, yeah, sure, that's fine. He doesn't care about Kevin, and he just wants him to go away and leave forever. Don't we all, Roman? Don't we all? You're not the only one, bruh. And Reigns says after Kevin Owens says after he beat Sami and Roman last week, he's in a great mood, and he will leave, but not forever. He'll see Reigns at the Royal Rumble. And he says to Sami to dig his balls out of Roman Reigns' pocket. And that was it. So, at least it's official. They also announced it on commentary later on. A few moments later, they announced that it's going to be Reigns and Kevin Owens again at the Royal Rumble. So, we all saw that coming anyway. It's not really that important. It sucks that Sami didn't get a chance to respond, but he does later on in the show in a backstage segment to Roman Reigns' promo. Pretty okay way to start off the show, I guess. Charlotte Flair, she's driving in style. She's driving in a convertible BMW, so we know that she's got some guap. So she hops out and she enters into the arena. So we then go to a backstage interview with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods that they were going to do with Kayla Braxton, but they were interrupted by Legado del Fantasma. So Santos commented on how Kofi's Royal Rumble appearances are legendary, and as much as he likes watching Kofi in the Rumble, he would enjoy eliminating Kofi even more. Escobar says that the sun is set on the New Day, and it's Legado's time. So the rest of the faction has some words with Kingston, and this leads us to our first match of the night: Kofi Kingston versus Santos Escobar. Escobar wins via the Phantom Driver, but not without help from Legado. So everyone in Legado got involved, and they took out Xavier Woods, and they distracted Kofi. So I'm fine with this. This is great, much needed, and hopefully Escobar will continue to rise on the main roster. I'm fine with this. This is great. It begs the question, though, if we are going to see Legado on Tuesday, since Pretty Deadly wanted to challenge top teams in NXT, who's decided that they won't come back. So that very well could happen. We could see something like that. So just a little nugget I wanted to throw out there. Moving on. So Michael Cole, he confirms that, KO and Roman are official for the Rumble. Now we then get more of the Bloodline story here in the backstage segment with Sami Zayn. So Zayn, he's backstage. He's knocking on the door. So Paul Heyman stops him. Sami just wants to explain. Heyman says now's not the time. The Usos and Solo, they walk up. They enter the room. Heyman recalls how last week he told Sami that you need to be 3 steps ahead at all times on the island of relevancy. Even 3 steps down the road would be bad timing. Heyman says, think about it. Think about this. I still love you. So Heyman enters the room, and Sami has a confused look on his face. So, yeah, there's that. Liv Morgan, she's backstage. She got the promo, how she's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble, declaring her spot. So she wants to be the first entrant. Okay. We then see a video package from last week about Uncle Howdy taking out Bray. LA Knight. Yeah, dummy, yeah. He's backstage talking with Kayla Braxton. So she asked how he feels about going into the pitch black match at the Royal Rumble. LA Knight, he insults the people of Memphis. Says that he feels good because Wyatt's plans backfired last week. And now all he has to do is walk into the Rumble and kick what's left of him around. Knight says now no one is talking about Wyatt's big match return. They're talking about LA Knight. Yeah. So Knight goes on and says that the lights go down at the Rumble. Wyatt's lights will go out. That's not an insult. It's just a fact of life. And then he says, yeah. So Cole then also says on commentary that it's going to be anything goes. Anything goes, no rules. But you win by pinfall or submission. I'm fine with this. So, then we go to our next match. Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus Madcap Moss and Emma. Karrion Kross and Scarlett, they win. This was an okay match. Very short, but okay. And then, post-match, Kross puts Rey Mysterio mask on Moss. So, and then he does his little TikTok thing. So he's still continuing with the feud with Rey. But this little mini feud with him and Scarlett and Emma and Madcap is finally over. Just a little mini feud. So I'm fine with that. So that's pretty okay. Moving on. So, we get a really cool segment involving Sheamus and McIntyre there in Jerry King Lawler's bar and grill. So that's pretty cool. That's badass. Sheamus says that being on the front lines together these past few months made him want to smash Drew's face in a little bit less. Drew talks about that what got them in the mess in the first place. So Sheamus kept kicking Drew in the head. They kept hitting each other with friendly, aggressive body slaps. Kind of funny. Sheamus says he's proud to call Drew an honorary brute. Drew appreciates that. Sheamus says he's been thinking back to all of their matches and how they kicked the crap out of each other. They continue to tap each other back and forth on the chest. Sheamus says that if they did that to each other, imagine what they can do to the Usos tonight on SmackDown. McIntyre's looking forward to beating the Usos and getting out of the Billy Street later on tonight. And then they do their whole banger after banger chant. That was fucking awesome. So I enjoyed that right there. Charlotte Flair, she's out next. She gets on the mic. So she gives a shout out to Memphis. So she's a babyface. Then after they missed their queen, Flair says she's missed them too. She asked about the payback a bitch. Payback is a bitch catchphrase. And says just ask Rhonda. She knows all about that. Some of the fans can't thank you, Charlotte. Flair is surprised to hear this. She thanks the fans. She said she's been gone for 8 months. Whether you love her or hate her, she's genuinely surprised to hear that type of reaction. The words thank you. Flair says whether you cheer her or boo her or just woo, she's been about 3 things: passion, consistency, and dedication for what she does in the ring. Flair says she may be a lot of things to a lot of people, but one thing she is not, and that's complacent. She will always ask and demand more. She will not just coast. She will not down any obstacle in her way, because that's what a champion does. A champion expects the unexpected and rises to any occasion. She's done that 14 times. Sonya Deville, she comes out. She insults the crowd, calls them hillbillies. And she says that she can see through Flair's lies. Deville says there should be an asterisk next to the Flair's 14 title reigns because she beat a half-dead Ronda. So Sonya then congratulates Flair. Some of the fans start to say, "Whoop that trick." So I guess they watch NXT. I guess. So Sonya wants to fight Flair. She wants her to put her title on the line right now. So Charlotte asked the fans, they can't and they can't whoop that trick. And then so we get Charlotte and Sonya. Charlotte Flair wins via the figure 8. So there's that. I feel bad for Sonya Deville, man. Can we please put her back in fucking NXT for a while? Please? Y'all are fucking up my girl Sonya. I love me some Sonya Deville. So we get a Cody Rhodes vignette from Raw last week. Lacey Evans, we get another vignette from her. She's training and learning more methods and a bunch of combat skills. Her new method of destruction is the Cobra Clutch. Okay. So I'm fine with this. I'm digging this. But where is this all leading to? We had a Royal Rumble qualifying match, Ricochet versus Top Dollar. Ricochet wins in a short match. This was about maybe, 5 minutes in length. Post-match, Hit Row, they attack Ricochet. And they do a pretty cool little tag team finisher move on him. And also BFAB, she joined in. But then Braun Strowman came out and made the save. So, the Bloodline, they're backstage. They're hyped up for the main event. So Roman tells Paul Heyman to bring Sami to him. We come back for commercial. And we get a video package next week saying that there's going to be a title match between Braun and Gunther. So Triple H, whatever reason, is not going to wait till the Rumble for that. Whatever. We all know Gunther should win. Hopefully he does. He probably will. Who knows? We could get a fuck finish next week. Don't really know. Then we finally got our answer for, the Roman Reigns, Sami Uso debacle that happened earlier on in the night. So we're in Roman Reigns' locker room. Sami comes in. He asked if Reigns wanted to see him. Reigns tells him to take a seat. Paul Heyman sitting in the background. Sami says he didn't have to. Sami says he didn't have to say this, but he acknowledges Roman. Everyone doesn't. And no one questions that. Sami says he's not trying to be a tribal chief or take power. Nothing like that. But if anything he gave him that impression to Reigns, then he's sorry. Sami repeats that he's sorry. Reigns takes a deep breath, sits forward in his chair. Reigns says he doesn't accept. He doesn't accept Zayn's apology. Reigns says, as your tribal chief, he holds himself to a very high standard at the end of the day. He has to control his anger. Reigns says, no one deserves to be talked to like that. Nobody. Not in front of the whole world. No one. Reigns says that he doesn't accept Sami's apology because Reigns should be the one apologizing. So Reigns apologized. Zayn, he's shocked. Roman says that he's sorry. Sami says he doesn't know what to say. Sami says it's fine. Roman's under a lot of pressure. Zayn says that Roman's the head of the table, so he gets it. He understands it. Reigns appreciates that, but it's no excuse. Reigns, he's embarrassed to say that Kevin Owens was right, and that he's mad, but not at Sami Zayn. He's mad at KO, and he's just taking it out on Sami Zayn. That's not right. It's not right. They're gonna fix it. So Reigns says the KO problem is the only thing they're gonna fix. Right, wise man. So basically, Roman says to Zayn that next week he has an opportunity to redeem himself by taking on Kevin Owens. Sami nods his head. He says, yes, let's do it. Sami says he'll take care of Owens for his tribal chief. And Sami's about to go out there with the Usos and Solo, but Roman's like, nah. He grabs his arm and says, nah, just stay here. We can watch it together. And Heyman, he's all smiles, and they all sit down and watch the main event. So we get a really good, solid main event. The Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. The Usos, they win via a roll-up. There were a bunch of near falls in the match. When they hit the one and done, we thought it was over, but McIntyre made a save, got a phenomenal pop, and they took out McIntyre towards the end of the match, so Sheamus couldn't get the job done by himself. And that was Smackdown overall. Smackdown itself just wasn't, that good outside of the whole Bloodline storyline. Everything else on the show was just there. So, yeah. On that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.